I would have to say that they're probably don't even use laptops. All right, you guys ready? If I have a number in front of parentheses, what do I do? That's right, distribute. So 2 times radical 3, because it's not, the 2 is not underneath a radical, you have to put it as 2 times radical 3. Distribute the 2 to the other term, plus 2 times 4 is 8 radical 5. Can I combine those? Of course not, because they are different terms. Okay, radical 6 times radical 3. This time my 6 is underneath the radical, so what am I going to do? Yeah, multiply it out. So I get radical 18. Radical 6 times a minus 2 radical 6 gives me 2 radical 36, right? Okay, now you got yourself your little yellow chart, right? Right? Okay, good. And you notice that, hey, 36 is a perfect square. So I could change that. Square root of 36 is what? That's right, 6. Good. Just spit it out when you know it. And square root of 18, you have to simplify, right? Right? To the square root of a perfect square times the square root of an imperfect square. And the largest perfect square that's a factor of 18 is 9 times 2. Okay, so here I get 3, because the square root of 9 is 3, times the square root of 2 minus 12. And that's about as far as I can go. Unless you guys got any ideas. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? So number 3 is just like that. Let's do number 4. I have to distribute the radical 2. Radical 2 times 3 radical 7. I can only multiply the numbers underneath the radical. So I have 3 radical 14 plus radical 2 times 2 radical 5 is 2 radical 10. Yes, sir. That's fantastic. All right, can we simplify these? Let's see, 14. There's not a perfect square that's a factor of 14 or 10, so we're done. You know how I knew that? I looked at my little yellow sheet, all the perfect squares that were on that yellow sheet in the back of the table, on the table in the back of the room if you need one, and lost yours. I have one. Actually, I don't need one. Yeah, that was a hint. If you don't have a little yellow sheet, get up and get one. All right, let's see. Let's do a fun one. Let's do a binomial times a binomial. Number 6. Okay, so just like as if this was a x plus 2 times x plus 3, you guys probably know it as FOIL, but it's really distributing. So I got to take the 2, multiply it by this 2, I get 4. This is actually from unit Unit 8, right? Polynomials that you guys did awesome with the quizzes and homework. Turned it all in. Right. You guys are slow today. Okay, 2 times 4 radical 2. Let's see, that's a 2, so I can't multiply it inside the radical. It's got to be multiplied to the 4. So I get a positive 8 radical 2, right? Okay, now I'm going to take minus 4 radical 2, multiply it by 2. See, I'm going to have to multiply the 4 and the 2 together. So I get minus 8, good. Don't forget the radical 2. Then I'm going to take minus 4 radical 2, multiply it to a positive 4 radical 2. Well, let's see. Negative 4 times positive 4 is minus 16. Radical 2 times radical 2 is what? Radical 4. Now let's do some simplification. Radical 4 is a perfect square, right? That just equals 2. Square root of 4 is 2. I do have some like terms here, right? I have an 8 radical 2 and a minus 8 radical 2. What happens? 0. So I have 4 minus 16 times 2 is 32. And 4 minus 32, negative 28. Isn't that wonderful? Love it when things work out mathematically. Should we try another? Huh? Should we do another? Shall we? Yep, we shall. Let's do number 8. Questions, comments, concerns? A lot going on this one. Don't all speak up at once. I can't answer everybody at once. One at a time. All right. Okay. 3 plus radical 6 squared means 3 plus radical 6 times 3 plus radical 6. Okay, let's distribute this out. 3 times 3. Good. 3 times radical 6. 3 radical 6. Good, Dewey. Radical 6 times 3. 3 radical 6. Radical 6 times radical 6. Radical 36. Does anyone notice a pattern when we multiply the same radicals to itself? You get what's inside, don't you? Multiplying radical 6 times radical 6 is 6. Okay? Radical 2 times radical 2 is 2. You get what's inside if it's exactly the same. Okay, so I'm just going to put in here plus 6. Combine your like terms. Let's see, I got a 9 and a plus 6. Gives me 15. And I also have a 3 radical 6 and a 3 radical 6. That gives me 6 radical 6. Awesome. I bet you guys haven't had this much fun since last Friday. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go back to what we learned last week. This stuff should be somewhat reviewed. 2 radical 5 plus 4 radical 5. 6 radical 5. Good. Can I add number 14? Can I add these two together? No. What do I have to do first? Simplify what's underneath the radical. So I'm going to carry down the 3. I need my perfect squares and my imperfect. 75, what's the largest perfect square that's a factor of 75? Remember how to do this? You could use your calculators. Take 75, divided by 2. I had 37 and a half. So what's the largest perfect square that's less than 37 and a half? 36. So let's try. 75 divided by 36. I get a decimal. Nope, not that one. What's the next one? 75 divided by 25. Oh, look at that. 25 times 3. So my largest perfect square factor is 25 and 3. What is the square root of 25? 5. So my first term reduces to 3 times 5 is 15. Radical 3. How about 2 radical 5? Can I break that down any further? Nope. Plus 2 radical 5. Can I combine these? No. They're not the same radical. So I'm done. Fun, fun, fun. Fun stuff. Fun stuff, Mr. D. Can you do more? Do more, Mr. D. How about 17? That looks kind of tough. Looks like we have to simplify every one of these first, right? Square root of 80. Break it down to perfect and imperfect. Let's see. 80 divided by 2 is 40. What's the largest perfect square under 40? 36, right? So 80 divided by 36. Decimal. Nope, not that one. 25 is the next one. 80 divided by 25. Decimal. Not it. 80 divided by 16. Look at that. 16 times 5. Okay, square root of 16. 4 radical 5. Okay, 20. Perfect square. Imperfect. Guess you know, maybe know this one. Anything? 10 and 2. 10 is not a perfect square. 4 and 5. Who said that? Awesome. 4 and 5. Okay, square root of 4. 2 square root of 5. And we have a minus, right? And the last one, here we go. We got 180. You can do this one off the top of your heads, right? Mr. G, you're funny. You're joking. Let's say 180 divided by 90. And I'm sorry, divided by 2 is 90. I did that wrong. So the largest perfect square that's less than 90. Actually, it's 81. So 180 divided by 81. Decimal, it's not it. Let's see, how about 64 would be the next one. 180 divided by 64. Decimal. 180 divided by 49. Decimal, that's not it. Let's see, 6 squared is 36. So 180 divided by 36. And 5. Look at that. 36 and 5. Square root of 36 is, you guessed it, 6, square root of 5. And this is a plus sign. Look at that. They're all like terms. 4 radical 5 minus 2 radical 5 is 3 radical 5. Plus 6 radical 5 is, how about 9? How about 8? How about 9? How about 8 radical 5? Isn't that fun? Fun with math. I should start a show starring Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Fun with math. Want me to do another binomial times a binomial? Oh wait, I don't want to do all your work. Huh. If I do another one, you guys won't have any work to do. Tell you what, why don't you finish this sheet for your practice work, okay? ¿Comprendes? ¿Comprendes?